Welcome everyone. My name's Damien Humphrey. I'm a partner at Ashton's Legal, and I'm joined today by a panel of brilliant experts. And we're talking today about the fitness and leisure industry. And what I'm really keen to get out of today is to understand why the fitness and leisure industry is continuing to boom, and to understand what the franchisors in this sector are really looking for from a franchisee. So to kick off, can I ask each of you, please, to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your businesses? So perhaps, Vicky, you're first on my screen. Perhaps I could start with you.
Of course, thanks, Damien. Hi, my name's Vicky Kaup, and I'm franchise manager for a company called Climb in the UK. And Climb is a family entertainment concept which consists of fun and thrilling climbing walls, which allows any age, any ability to try. And we also have cafe and party elements within the business.
Brilliant, brilliant, thank you. And then moving to you, Ben.
Yeah, hi there. I'm Ben Dixon. I'm Chief Development Officer of Anytime Fitness. We're a global health and fitness franchise chain. Over here in the UK, Ireland, and now Channel Islands, we have 180 trading clubs currently. And our business is all about kind of mid-market health and fitness across 40 countries now, with over 5,000 gyms globally.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And then finally, Vaughan.
Hi, yeah, I'm Vaughan Maiden. I'm head of franchise development for UK and Ireland for TRIB. What is TRIB? I suppose TRIB is we're a global movement in fitness surrounded about group exercise experience itself. So we deliver 45 minutes coach-led HIIT sessions in a luxurious environment. And yeah, we were new to the franchise market in 2019, and our focus is going to be the UK and Spain predominantly over the next 12 months.
Brilliant, brilliant. Now, for all of you, one of the curious things about this sector is that we've seen we're in the middle, or hopefully the end, of a global pandemic. And I think really it's been a huge catalyst for change. And strangely, in an area, in a sector such as yours, actually we've seen, whilst you've been shut down more than most sectors, we've actually seen more change within your businesses. So I'd like to hear from you what the last 12 months have been like, and hear some of the challenges that you face. So perhaps, Ben, I could start with you on this one.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, what a 12 months, eh? So as an industry, I think one thing I would say is the industry as a whole has come together really, really well, and supported each other through what we've had to be is very versatile since closure back in March 2020. The sector is changing anyway, coming into the pandemic, based around the level of versatility of what health and fitness can offer. And then we had to then kind of react to that, and understand that our members were needing to be contacted. We needed to speak to our members and understand what they needed, whether it was some online presence, whether it was just general distance coaching, whether it was live classes online. And I think a lot of the industry guys reacted to that. We created a whole online platform throughout lockdown number one. And it was just about ensuring that we can coach, care and connect with our members, even though our bricks and mortar gyms weren't open. So, and I think that's kind of given us a bit of a standing point, and I'm sure Vaughan and Vicky will talk through this as well. Since we've kind of coming out the back end of it, we're showing the level of versatility and offering to our members isn't just bricks and mortar, but there is still a massive place for that, and the demand has kicked in for that, I think.
Yeah.
And therefore, but we're reacting to other ways to communicate and actually coach our members as well, because they're not possibly able to come back to the gym 3 times a week now, but we can still try and get them to their fitness goals, even though they don't physically come into the club. So it's been a real versatile change, but I think it's been challenging, but also rewarding, and I'm sure the other guys will follow suit.
Fantastic. Vicky, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. Yeah, for us, we actually own and operate Clip and Climb, so we kind of felt the awful kind of situation for our franchisees through this past 12 months. I think coming out of it, loads of positives. I think for us, the demand on families wanting to do stuff together, is a real plus. And obviously for Clip and Climb, it's all about making memories and doing stuff together as a family. So we've kind of focused on that. But yeah, obviously the other side that we try to focus on is mental health coming out of all this, and obviously doing stuff, going to the gyms, going to leisure facilities is obviously a massive plus for everyone's mental health, whatever age you are. And we particularly concentrate on young people's health at Clip and Climb. But yeah, like Ben said, you just got to adapt quickly, especially in staffing. Opening and closing so quickly without much notice was a big, really big challenge. But you know, all our managers, and staff, and franchisees all managed to kind of adapt really quickly on that.
No, thank you, Vicky. And Vaughan, for you guys, what do you think the lessons that you've learned over the last 12 months that have assisted you in taking the business forward?
Yeah, I mean, like it's been a very sort of crazy, challenging months, isn't it? And you know, we're going into over a year of it now. And look, there's one common theme with what we're talking about, certainly within the leisure industry, is community, and it's that community spirit. I mean, in terms of the leisure industry, it's always been the holy grail. And also it's been able to sort of reinforce the community in sort of actions and behaviors within the business itself. You know, especially now where people have experienced a lot more isolation than they ever have before. So I think the face-to-face interaction and us, you know, Tribe being a very group orientated offering.
Yeah.
It's really, really important to make sure that they're obviously engaged with, and also as well that they're praised, incentivized and rewarded. And the support structure that is also required now over the next sort of 12 months is really key, because ultimately it's the confidence to come back to these sort of typical leisure environments.
Yeah, I mean, one of the key aspects is this idea of community leads us on to one of the questions that I always have in my mind relevant to the fitness sector. Now, we've had a lot of online classes to keep members engaged throughout the pandemic. How's this going to play out, do you think, in the future? Are we going to see your clients come to the gym, come to the bricks and mortars gym less, or because they've got this online aspect? Or do you think you're going to see it more as an integration? It's a step forward. It's an extra offering that you're giving your clients.
Is that to myself?
Yeah, to you, Vaughan. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I mean, I can just give you a bit of a general overview in terms of where I see the growth over the next sort of 5 years, and certainly from the boutique market. I think we'll be looking at some of the global trends, and 2019, at the end of that, we obviously saw that the boutique market was valued at 95 billion globally. So it's representing the fastest growing proposition within the fitness industry. And I suppose our target audience, in theory, is millennials. Now, they certainly have a huge focus on lifestyle, well-being, and of course, interactions. Now, when we're talking about social media, yes, obviously the millennials play a huge, significant part in that, but also as well, like mentioned previously, they like to have the face-to-face interaction. And where we see the millennials itself is that, they are 76% of millennials work out once a week, which is higher than I suppose any other generation. So when it comes to exercise, the millennials will look for those programs to fit in their busy lifestyle. Needs to offer a bit of variety, fun, and are also social. And they're important traits in millennials. And that's why we see that the boutique sector of fitness will strive and will continue to obviously perform very well, certainly over the next sort of 4 to 5 years.
Fantastic. And Ben, where do you see the next 12 to 18 months heading for Anytime Fitness?
Well, I think similar to Vaughan, but I think from our perspective, our kind of demographics a bit wider than that. We've got various different options, everything from, we have a specific Prime membership, we have an off-market membership, as well as, full-time membership as well into our clubs. But the key to us now is, listen, we're coming on the back of a health pandemic here. We are within the health industry. It's not just fitness, it's health, it's well-being, and that's the move we're moving forward with. Let's understand, as Vicky says, mental health is a requirement, understanding people's nutritional needs, understanding people's sleep habits and quality, understanding their, family and social environment. Everybody's been stuck at home for the last 18 months.
Yeah.
And that's been their office, that's been their gym, that's been their homeschool. People now desperate to get out, but they're getting out with a different mentality. I've got to concentrate on my whole health and well-being package. And for us, that's a real driver for us to be able to offer that in the club in all aspects, but also away from the club from a coaching point of view. So we talk a lot about kind of the hand of well-being for us, and that's a big driver for us to ensure that our members and future members get as much as they can within their journey within our clubs, which is where I think our balance complements the online platform, which has been a big hit. But people now, they want the social aspect, as Vaughan says. They just want to go and lift a dumbbell, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
They just want, they want to go and do that, and we need to cater for that. So I think we just keep working and being versatile with the way the world has slightly changed. But as I say, let's be clear, we are a health industry now. And it's about being healthy and look after your own well-being, and we can support that.
Absolutely. So, guys, turning to your franchisees now, one of the big questions, and I'm going to start with you, Vicky, on this, is when you're looking to recruit potential franchisees, are you looking for someone, I want to talk about traits and how people should be, but are you looking for someone who has experience in the leisure sector, or are you really, it doesn't matter? If I'm sitting in the audience today and I'm looking at Clip and Climb, are you going to be asking me what experience I have within the sector?
Yeah, no problem. I think what we look for is, like you say, they don't have to be from the leisure industry. I think they have to have some core skills, and that's obviously good communication, business skills. Any marketing experience is always a plus to us. And I think it's important, obviously, for us in our kind of sector, is they don't need any climbing experience. So we try and get that message across as soon as we can. If anything, we want them to be fully involved in the business from day one. And that's what really makes Clip and Climb thrive as a business.
Thank you. And Vaughan, the same question for you, I think, from your side in the fitness.
Yeah, look, it's really interesting. From the franchisees that we've taken on board during the pandemic, very little of those franchise partners have experience of fitness or health or well-being. And our long-term goal is to have 1,000 stores in 36 countries in 5 years. And look, we'll take people from various backgrounds, and as Vicky said, there needs to have the core understanding of the business. And like, franchising is really interesting. If you're looking at recruiting a franchise partner, and it's in theory, you'd say it's an individual who wants to begin business but just doesn't want to go it alone. So in theory, I suppose it's not a leap of faith, it's a leap of trust with it. And look, from the support structure, part of the franchise business is being able to, well, hey, try and go it alone. And it's not as if you are the standalone option. There is somebody at the end of the phone who's going to be able to support you. And it does give you the confidence. And look, we will support and provide going along that journey. And during the educational process, that allows us the opportunity to identify the skill set where they are going to need more support. Yeah. And also other areas as well, whereas, they feel strong and they might have huge passion about it that makes that journey a little bit easier in different segments. And I think the other advantage that you get from individuals come into the business who have different backgrounds is that these individuals will be the future of the organization. So if we can take people from different skill sets in the areas that we don't necessarily have them at the moment, then that could only be a great positive thing for us as a business.
No, thank you. And Ben, this idea of support leads us on to another of the key questions, I guess, around franchising. How have your franchisees, do you think, fared better given the support that you've been able to give them during the last 12 months than independent operators?
Well, I think the key with franchising is a partnership. So the franchisor and the franchisee are working together. The goals are similar. The business plan is the same, you know. And for us as a, you know, as a set fee model, which we are, we concentrate very hard on the skill sets that differ, as Vaughan's mentioned. They're key to franchisees coming in and supporting our business. But we need to understand from them, what is your skills gap? How can we, you know, improve that from your operational skills or your financial abilities, et cetera, et cetera. We can offer every aspect of that training, but it is bespoke. You know, it's about tailoring that to suit our franchisees and teaching them what we need to ensure that they can take control of their business. You know, and so the one key element for us is that they've got the level of commitment to their own business plan. What do they want to get out of this franchise? You know, it's not all about coming in, opening one club and running it for the next 20 years. There's a business plan there. There might be an exit strategy. It might be come in, build to 5 to 10 clubs, sell on and exit the strategy and go into another business. That's absolutely fine. That's franchising. But as a franchisor, we have to understand that very, very early on. And then we know where we're catering the level of training within our business. And that's proving fairly successful for us across 180 sites thus far.
Yeah, I mean, if I can ask you again, Ben, the next question. Vicky mentioned about franchisees having to have good communication skills. What traits would you see if you've got someone in the audience coming to talk to you? What traits would you be looking for in a good franchisee?
Well, entrepreneurialism for a start. You know, that again, franchising is about, you know, bringing in your own skill set to be able to enhance that level of business. Now, for us, commitment is key, 100%. So, you know, any business, starting any business, and our franchisees and those listening into this session will know, you've got to pull your sleeves up. You've got to work hard to run your own business, right? It isn't, here's my money, I'm going to go and sit on a beach and watch the money roll in. It doesn't work like that. But it could do if you get it right. If it could do if your business plan's correct, you know. So for us, it's about commitment. It's understanding what our vision and missions are. You know, it's about the members. It's about driving membership. It's about improving the health of the nation. You know, and if you concentrate on that element of it, you will be successful as a franchise. But you've got to start from the main point. We are a health industry, and we are about offering health to our consumers and supporting the NHS and things like that, particularly on the back of the pandemic. So you've got to come in with that mindset that you've got entrepreneurism, 100%. We need you to add that value to us. You've got different skill sets, great, but let's concentrate on exactly what you're here to do. You're here to ensure that we can expand the level of health and well-being to the consumers, and that will make you successful as a franchise.
Yeah, no, thank you. So moving forward then, guys, and Vicky, I'm going to come to you first on this. Getting involved with a franchise at this level, given the bricks and mortar, is a bit more of a complicated process than if we are buying, let's call it a man in the fan franchise. Can you just give me a bit of an indication of your recruitment process that you might go through?
Yeah, of course, Damien. Yes, you're absolutely right. Obviously, finding a building is probably the key to our franchise. But yeah, as you go through the recruitment process, we obviously have a few levels of recruitment, but we try and make it clear throughout the recruitment that the process can be longer than what people normally expect. We get a lot of, you know, they think they can be up and running in a few weeks, you know, even a couple of months, and we have to quite quickly say, you know, it's probably a 6-month process for us, and the building is the key. We need quite a specific building. We also have territories to consider. So yeah, so throughout the recruitment, we try and look at that quite quickly. But yeah, as we go along the recruitment, I think it's also important, yeah, like we were saying about trying to get out of them what skills they have, so that we can really, you know, communicate to them what we need and what they want from us as well.
Yeah, okay, that's great. So Vaughan, taking Vicky's point about the premises, trying to identify the premises is always tricky in this area. How do you go about helping franchisees with that process?
Yeah, so you know, we offer full support in terms of finding a location. I think that, you know, from our perspective itself, people can get really hung up on location and property first of all, and I know it's hugely important because that provides the best platform for success. You know, as Ben said, we can't guarantee success, but it provides the best platform for it. So I suppose in terms of the steps before that is just the education process. And it's then just sort of fully understanding. And once we've got no more questions, then hopefully we're in the legal side and we like the property itself. So one thing that we map and what's really important is the demographic profiling. So we're using the data of our existing consumers, or tribers as we call them, and then we mirror and match them in terms of set sort of locations that could be within the UK, whether that's a city or whether it's residential or whether it's a corporate environment. So with the demographic profile and mapping that we do, we then obviously then support that with our property team, who then will have the opportunity to go into any negotiations on any property that we both feel as the franchise partner and Tribe as a business would provide that platform to work. And look, you know, from a leisure opportunity, we're probably been in one of the best situations that we have been for a while when it comes to locations. Because obviously Class D was revoked, which means that years ago, I mean, Ben's probably gone through years of this, whereas, you know, leisure has always been sort of had the left behinds of any locations and properties. And with that declassification now, it does really put leisure in the front foot of you know, being able to secure some of the best locations available to our franchise partners.
No, thank you. Ben, turning to you then, and using your years of experience, if I'm a franchisee coming to you, what's the most common reason that you might turn me down? Because I'm sure you guys get hundreds and perhaps thousands of applications, and you only take forward a small proportion of those opportunities.
Yeah, we do. There's various different aspects to that. You know, financial capability is obviously a key one. Have you got the ability financially to do this? We do require, you know, a minimum requirement of liquid capital, for example. So that's kind of a strikeout quite early on, but we don't shy away from that fact. We you know, we're very clear that we need to understand your level of financeability, your level of funding ability. But it's also about, let's say, the things we mentioned earlier. What drives you? What's your passion? You know, how are you drawing up your business plan? Let's understand it together, because if it's not in the level that we think it could be or should be, moving into exactly what our, you know, USPs and visions are, then, you know, it might not be the right industry for you. It might not be. So, and as franchising, it's okay to say that there's various options out there, but ultimately, this is about ensuring that, again, we're improving the health of the nation. We've got a good standing point operationally. We've got a good business plan in place, and we can finance it. If we've got those in place, absolutely no problem. And we welcome you. And just picking up the guy's points about property as well. Right now, and Vaughan's right, welcome category E in the planning world, by the way. Thank you so much for that. But ultimately, we are inundated with properties right now. You know, we are, and with our market and our model, you know, we're opening anywhere between kind of 2,500, 10,000 square foot clubs now, and that helps us. But we've got properties coming out of our ears, and it is property led, definitely. But you know, with the utilisation of a lot of our, you know, agent partners and retail of our property partners, we are being able to drive a good level of properties available, because the landlords' mindsets are changing. You know, there's a real different and shift from those landlords. Yes, we were bottom of the pile before. Let's go out to the big restaurants. Let's go out to the retailers. Let's go out to the coffee shops. Now it's, can we talk to you about building a leisure hub in our facility? You know, I've got this shopping centre. I need to build a leisure hub. Absolutely fine.
I can see, on a personal level, I can see the high street turning into leisure and fitness is going to replace retail as a sort of the destination or the key destination reason for high streets.
Yeah, I
agree. Go on. Did you have something to add there, Ben? Did you want to?
No, I was just going to say I agree. From the high street market, you know, it's early days in that change of category within the high street, and we've seen, unfortunately, the demise of a lot of the high streets, and they are closing more doors than they're opening. The key to that is, you know, the councils out there and the other markets within those areas working together. You know, driving leisure to the footfall within the high street is great, but we need to understand parking provisions. We need support with that. You know, there's a lot of other aspects that we need to work on as a collective within these high streets to ensure that we are bringing people back. And leisure is definitely a footfall driver for that, 100%.
Yeah, thank you. Vicky, turning to you, the other area that seems to me, if not popular already, but is going to become more and more popular, is this idea of having multi-unit franchisees. Given the scalability of these businesses, what's your view on this for Click and Climb's perspective? Do you like first-time franchisees, or are you keen to get multi-unit operators on board?
Yes, yeah, good question, Damien. Yeah, we always encourage multi centres, and it works both ways. Obviously, for us, we can offer them the territories and the areas and the potential buildings that come up first, and also we have a lot of systems in place that obviously all talk to each other. So obviously for the franchisee, that's massively beneficial because they can see what's going on throughout every centre that they have, and we also offer bigger product discounts as the more centres that they have to come on board. So yeah, I think we do encourage it. We also welcome new franchisees, obviously, but yeah, once they're on board, we can then push along and offer them new areas if they wanted to.
No, thank you. Vaughan, I'm now going to ask you to put yourself in place of the franchisee.
Okay.
Okay. You're a franchisee. You're listening today, you want to get involved in the sector. What due diligence should they be carrying out when considering to take on one of either of the three of your franchises?
Yeah, it's a question, isn't it? Because everyone's very different in terms of their approach. But if it was myself looking to take a Tribe store, number one, I'd want to understand a little bit more about obviously the business historically. Secondly, in terms of what the vision looks like, what the values are and where they see their goals over the next sort of 4 to 5 years. The support structure is key, is understanding who's going to hold my hand along the journey, because there's going to be parts of it where I just don't completely understand and I'm going to need that support to go alongside it. So I think in terms of what advice I would give, make sure that you understand everything. If you have an opportunity to go and visit a local store and experience the culture within the environment, then that's absolutely crucial, because it's fine when you read through a brochure, everyone can talk a really good game, but when it's a very different experience to actually going in there and being, dissolved within that environment. I think the other factor that you need to take into consideration as well is making sure that, the support structure that you have on the onboarding, that support stays with you for the continuous of the franchise agreement. And also as well, in terms of that support, what does that look like? So is that from an audit perspective? Is it from a mystery shop? Is there workshops going to go ahead? Are you going to be involved as the community of franchise partners would be, as in obviously the consumers who then take part within the session itself? So I think it's interesting to understand that the people who are driving the business are aligned, and then they're aligned going all the way down to the bottom in terms of people going from stakeholders, shareholders level, all the way through to other team members as well. So yeah, it's really key to make sure that everyone's values, behaviors are exactly the same throughout the whole organization.
Oh, thank you. Right, I think we've got 2 minutes left, so I'm just going to ask very quickly each of you. I'm going to start with you, Ben. I just want a final tip for any franchisees out there listening on the whole process and becoming a franchisee.
Okay, well, very simply, ask yourself 6 questions. What, when, where, how, who, and why. If you understand what it is you're trying to achieve, your business plan, but let's be clear, it's about your return on investment, and that's what you're driving for. But if you get your head around all of those questions, what am I doing, where am I doing it, how am I doing it, and why am I doing it? And therefore, we as a support, and everybody on this call, but we offer that level of support. We're here to bespoke the training to those guys who want to come into the network and make a return on their investment, quite frankly.
Brilliant. Vicky?
Yeah, I think for us, it's, we have a motto, which is work with you. And, throughout the process, you need to see which franchisee is going to work with you completely through the whole process. And it's through the good and the bad. And we've obviously had, the last 12 months of hell, really. So, yeah, it's which franchisee would help you through both good and the bad.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Finally, Vaughan, I think we've got 30 seconds.
Just questions. Get to the point where you have no more questions to ask, and no question is a silly question.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that leads me then. I've got no more questions to ask. We've run out of time, and I'd just like to thank the three of you. You've been brilliant. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Damien.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Cheers.
Bye.